live on Rupavahini, ChannelEye. We're ready to bring you the top stories at home and around the world. I'm ChannelEye.
And I'm Hushain Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines first.
The IMF calls for timely and orderly processes and the common framework for Sri Lanka's debt resolution. Reports over the resigning of Prime Minister are false. Prime Minister's office confirms. Water and tear gas attacks at the Colombo protest. President urges young lawyers to form a committee to lead new legal developments in the port city. Earthquakes in Japan and Papua New Guinea.
On to those and other stories in detail. The International Monetary Fund calls for timely and orderly processes under common framework with regards to Sri Lanka's debt resolution.
IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva made these remarks in a statement issued after the conclusion of G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting under the India's presidency. She endorsed efforts to strengthen the debt architecture and improve the speed and effectiveness of debt resolution, keeping in mind rising debt vulnerabilities in many countries. Sovereign debt vulnerabilities, which were already in elevated state before the pandemic, have been exacerbated by the shocks stemming from COVID-19 and Russia's war against Ukraine. The IMF chief said that such vulnerabilities impact severely on developing and low-income countries with limited policy space and huge development needs. Accordingly, she said that the timely and orderly processes are required both for countries under the common framework and for those not covered by it, including Sri Lanka and Suriname. In the press statement, she reminded the global growth slowdown during this year. She said that a considerable number of people in many countries are struggling to make ends meet, and the international community has a responsibility to find solutions for the most vulnerable members of the global family.
And in the meantime, Prime Minister's office has rejected the reports which claim that Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena is resigning from his post. In a statement, the Prime Minister's office has pointed out that such false claims have been made as a part of a conspiracy to disrupt the measures undertaken by the present government. The statement has further indicated that no party has made such request or influenced the Prime Minister to resign from his post.
The protest rally organized by the National People's Power based on various issues, including the postponement of the local government polls, was held at the Vihara Mahadevi Park today. The police used water cannons and tear gas attacks to control the protesters when they attempted to continue the rally while ignoring the court orders. The National People's Power organized the protest rally based on the prevailing issues pertaining to public life and efforts taken by the government to postpone the elections. A massive gathering of people was observed at the protest site. The protesters then commenced a protest march from near the Nelumpokuna Theatre. The police subsequently handed over the order issued by the Malika Kanda Magistrate Court regarding the protest march. The relevant order was issued against 26 individuals, including parliamentarian Anurukumar Disanayaka and the participants.
මාවෙත ලබා දී ඇති බලතර ප්‍රකාරව මෙයින් අනකරනු ලැබේ.
However, a tense situation occurred when the gathered protesters attempted to proceed ahead with the protest march. The police then launched a tear gas and water cannon attack on the protesters. Subsequently, another tense situation occurred between the police and the protesters when the protesters attempted to march towards a Union Place via Ibangwala Junction. The police again took measures to launch a tear gas and a water cannon attack on the protesters to control the situation. Later, the protesters depressed from the protest site and participated in the protest rally held at the Vihara Mahadevi Park.
Meanwhile, several public rallies and meetings organized by political parties targeting the upcoming local government polls were held in various parts of the country. Freedom People's Alliance Badula district candidates meeting was held yesterday with the participation of MP Dallas Alahaperuma. A meeting of the UNP candidates contesting for the local government polls was held yesterday in Moragala with the participation of Deputy Leader of the party Ruwan Wijewardena. A public rally organized by the Samaki Jana Balaweke was held in Mulathiu recently with the participation of opposition leader Sajid Premadasa.
Artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual reality, metaverse. Namut meva tama tunukka iwalta avilla naha.
Launching of the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna Hambantota District Women's Society was held in Hambantota yesterday. Former Minister Johnston Fernando was present at the occasion. A meeting organized by the National People's Power was held yesterday in Wadwa with the participation of Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. A meeting of the New Lanka Freedom Party for the Gampaha electorate was held yesterday, and it was held with the participation of former President Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. President urges young lawyers to specialize in offshore economy law and form a committee to lead new legal developments in the port city.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe suggested the development of the new port city as a financial centre with an offshore economy law. The President made these remarks while addressing the annual general meeting of the Royal College Lawyers Association in Colombo yesterday. President Ranil Wickremesinghe attended the event as a chief guest. He discussed his commitment to making tough decisions for the good of the economy and the country. Even if they are unpopular, the President also reflected on his time at Royal College and how it helped to shape his character and sense of responsibility. He encouraged young lawyers to get a head start on the legal areas in relation to making the port city into a financial centre and emphasized the importance of taking on responsibility and leadership roles. President's counsel Rohan Sahabandu were re-elected as the President of the Royal College Lawyers Association. The newly elected Secretary is Attorney at Law Lasitha Kanwanarachi. Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam and Principal of the Royal College R.M. Ratnayaka were also present at this occasion.
State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya says the import levy on egg imports will only be related to the state sector. He made these remarks while taking part in an event held in Ruwanwala area yesterday. State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that State Trading General Corporation is the only permitted agency to import eggs under the quarantine regulations. Accordingly, he said that the relevant levy charge for each imported egg is at 1 rupees and it is only applicable to the corporation. Also, he said that the egg imports can only be sold for industries which use eggs for productions. Accordingly, he said that the price of an import egg is at 30 rupees. The State Minister said that other entities outside the corporation will be charged 50 rupees per an imported egg as taxes.
Farmers in Polonnaru district claims that they have been compelled to sell their paddy harvest at lower prices. The farmers have pointed out that failure to open the government paddy storing facilities in the district has caused this issue. Paddy farmers in Polonnaru district allege that the paddy harvest have declined and as they were not provided with the fertilizer on time. The farmers have become helpless due to the high expenditure pertaining to paddy cultivation and the failure to obtain a fair price for their products. They have mentioned that they have been compelled to sell 64 kilograms of Nadu paddy stock at a rate of 5,000 rupees. They have pointed out that the government would have purchased the same stock of paddy at a rate of 6,400 rupees if the government paddy storing facilities were open. The paddy farmers have requested the government to commence the purchasing of paddy harvest by opening the government paddy storages, influencing the private entities to purchase paddy at a higher rate. Seethamvik Odyssey, special tourist train will officially launch today in an effort to promote the Avisavela and Seethamvik tourist zone. The train will leave Colombo Fort at 7:15 am on every Sunday and reach its final destination, Wagga railway station.
The aim of this new train journey is to popularize the tourist attractions in Avisavela and Seethamvik areas among local and foreign visitors. This was launched under a concept of Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. The passengers are able to view the attractive places either sides of the railway line until they reach the Wagga destination. The train is scheduled to reach Wagga station by 9:05 am and accordingly, transport facilities have been arranged from the Wagga station to visit the tourist hotspots within a span of 1 day. The visitors will be able to witness Wakwaya, Labugama, Kaluptuava Reservoir, Kumari Waterfall, Ranpudu Waterfall, as well as Seethamvik Wetland Botanical Garden during the journey. Plans have been made to create a tourism zone in the Seethamvik region with quick access for the local and foreign visitors from Colombo. The train will leave Wagga station to return to Colombo at 5:25 pm. The tourist arriving to Sri Lanka now has the opportunity to experience the scenic beauty of Sri Lanka from the air.
Accordingly, an international paragliding tournament was held at the 18 Bend Road, also known as the Dahatawangwa site yesterday, with the participation of competitors from many countries. Sri Lanka has 4 locations to engage in the paragliding sport, including the Del Totalu Kandura, the State Hill, Kurunagala, Kamisagamu, Hunapala Hill, Marasana Hill and the 18 Bend Road. Accordingly, paragliding is also known as an adventure sport where the enthusiasts launch from the mountain top using a parachute and soar into the air while experiencing the excitement in flying across the sky. The tournament was organized to promote the tourism industry. Competitors from South Korea, India, Nepal, Switzerland and Sri Lanka participated in the tournament. The event was organized by Kandy Paragliding and Ravana Paragliding.
I'm at this beautiful location, the viewpoint where the 18 hairpin bends start going down to Mayangara. It's a spectacular place. I think nowhere in the world you can get such a beautiful location, and I think we should showcase this to more foreigners kind of Sri Lanka. But today is a special day as we have the Kandy and Ravana Paragliding Club having a lot of foreigners and Sri Lankans taking part in a competition. Of course, there's not many people here because it is something new and what we're trying to promote in Sri Lanka, because it's a very nice sport where it does not do any harm to the environment, no disturbance to anything. It's a very safe to the environment, so there's nothing about the environment, and it's a sport that's becoming very popular in the world. So I think we should promote this and have more people coming, because we have with us people from India, from Korea, participants who have taken part, and also we have our Sri Lankan participants who have a lot of experience and who has put a lot of effort to organize this event.
What's your name?
My name is Jinu Kim. I am from Korea. I am paragliding instructor.
How about your experience
In Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka paragliding site is a very good scenery. When I fly in the sky, seen above the 8 Bend Road and the waterfall, it's very seen, and weather is very good. Sri Lankan people is very kind. I love it. I love Sri Lanka. I like the Sri Lankan food. It's very simple, and then it's good health for me.
Very well organized festival, very well organized international paragliding accuracy competition, and really beautiful flying site here. Paragliding is a very natural sport. We use only natural wind and thermal energy. It doesn't pollute, it doesn't harm anybody. Just fly up in the air, touch no trees, no animals. So it doesn't harm anything. In other ways, it can help build a local tourism. It can generate a lot of employment and revenue for local communities, and I'm sure Sri Lanka will develop paragliding as a tourist activity and also as a athletic, as a sport.
With the necessary mediation of the state institutions, Sri Lanka can gain a special attention through the sport. The adventure sport has the ability to earn a massive dollar income to the country as well as create new job opportunities through the promotion of tourism industry.
Sri Lanka is experiencing a large influx of tourists at present. However, reports have indicated that the entry fees to certain nature parks have become unbearable for visiting tourists. Many tourists who arrive in the island nation show great interest to visit nature parks. However, the fee charged from a tourist to visit the Yala Wildlife Park is at 12,500 rupees. Reports have indicated that tourists experience various difficulties in making such payments to visit the park. Accordingly, tourists tend to take pleasure in witnessing wild animals along the Buttala-Kataragama road. And many wild animals, including tuskers, peacocks and leopards, can be seen along the main road at most times. This has led the foreign tourists to feed various wild animals, including tuskers, when travelling along the Buttala-Kataragama road.
Ceylon tea is one of the main sources of foreign exchange for Sri Lanka. However, tea pluckers definitely select the leaves more suitable to prepare a delicious tea while toiling throughout the day. Sri Lanka's tea cultivation has a history of more than 150 years. The total tea population has distributed among various districts in the country, including the hill. The Development Lotteries Board has extended 10 billion rupees worth cash prizes to the winners during the previous year.
Also, the Development Lotteries Board further said that the daily lottery sale has been increased up to 3.5 million at present. Awarding of cheques for the winners in North Central Province was held at the Anuradhapura District Secretariat premises yesterday. Chief guest of the event was State Minister Shehant Semsingh. Chairman of the Development Lotteries Board Ajit Nargala was also present at the occasion.
Stay tuned with international news after this break. Welcome back with international news. An earthquake with a magnitude of 6.1 hit off the eastern part of Japan's northern island of Hokkaido yesterday, and an earthquake of magnitude 6.5 struck a New Britain region in Papua New Guinea today.
According to Japanese Research Institute for Earth Science and Disaster Resilience, the quake hit off the Nimuro Peninsula at a depth of 61 kilometers. There were no immediate reports of injuries or damage. In two municipalities in Hokkaido, the quake registered as a level 5 on Japan's 7-point intensity scale, which measures ground motion. The Japan Meteorological Agency also said that it mainly rattled the eastern part of Hokkaido. There were no immediate reports or injuries or damages to infrastructure. The Japanese Weather Agency also said that the quake was recorded at the depth of 60 kilometers in the Pacific Ocean of Hokkaido and shook a wider region including northeastern Japan and the eastern part of the country. Meanwhile, an expert speaking to the public broadcaster NHK warned that citizens need to be against quakes for at least a week.
From Japan to US. A rare blizzard warning remains in effect from parts of the Southern California, including the Los Angeles region, as some areas enjoy heavy snow and record rainfall that has delivered dangerous flooding. An onset of severe weather across the west coast have spawned unfamiliar wintry conditions at high elevations, particularly over mountainous areas of Los Angeles and Ventura counties, where up to a foot of snow may par with 80 meters per hour winds, as the U.S. National Weather Service said. Blizzard warnings are set to continue through Saturday afternoon. The National Weather Service's Los Angeles office had not issued a blizzard warning since 1989. At the same time, torrential rain is expected to.
Meanwhile, foreign media reports that 4 people were killed and 14 injured after an explosive-laden motorbike blew up in Pakistan's restive Balochistan province today. The explosion took place in Barkan district, Rakni Bazaar area. The law enforcement agency said that the explosion had damaged several cars, motorcycles and shops. Security officials cordoned off the area and completely suspended traffic after the incident. While some injured have been shifted to a local hospital, others were admitted to Dera Ghazi Khan Hospital, police said. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has condemned the attack and sought a report from Balochistan Chief Minister Abdul Bizenjo and the Inspector General of Police. The Prime Minister also directed to ensure the best medical facilities for those wounded in the blast.
Turkey's government says more than 600 people are now being investigated in Turkey over the buildings that collapsed in the deadly earthquake on the 6th of February. On Saturday, Justice Minister Bekir Bozdağ said 184 suspects, including construction contractors and property owners, had already been arrested. For years, experts warned that endemic corruption and government policies meant many buildings were unsafe. The confirmed toll in Turkey and Syria has now exceeded 50,000. Bozdağ made these televised remarks from southeastern Turkey while the 7.8 magnitude quake struck and was followed by another powerful tremor just hours later. His comments showed that his investigations had warned 2 weeks ago. The authorities said that 113 arrest warrants has been issued.
Russian mercenary leader Yevgeny Prigozhin said forces of his Wagner group had captured the village of Yaitin just north of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. Ukrainian military reports issued a day after the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine suggested that villages near the key town remained under Kyiv's control. International media could not independently confirm Prigozhin's claim made in a short audio message or the report by the Ukrainian military's general staff. However, other sources reported that Russian forces had entered Yavnim as the situation around Bakhmut appeared to grow more perilous for its Ukrainian defenders. Russian forces have been trying to take the now shattered Donbas city for 7 months, inching forward at a glacial pace to try to encircle it with a narrowing corridor for Ukrainian defender.
The official who spoke.
Prima Kotami Fantamai.
Welcome back with your sports update. Sri Lankan athlete Ushan Tiwanka Pereira has clinched up to the top position in another Indo Championship.
Representing Texas A&M University, the Sri Lankan athlete achieved 2 meters and .24 record in the Southeast Conference Indo Championship. This is his second Indo Championship and he secured the first place in the Tiger Paw Invitational event. The Sri Lankan disabled cricket team arrived in the country this morning after defeating the India's disabled national team after 8 years. Sri Lanka claimed an outright victory in the 3-match T20 series. Udara Chandratilaka was named player of the series. The friendly cricket tournament organised for the first time by the Colombo Journalists Association was concluded yesterday at the Janaka Ranok grounds in Moragasmulla, Rajgiriya. 6 teams completed in the tournament and Minister Bandula Gunawardena and parliamentarians were present at the inauguration ceremony. In the finals, Nevidulakman from DSN College in Colombo secured the first place in the Under-19 Indian Junior Open Squash Championship. Following the win, young Nevidulakman propelled to the 14th place in the Asian rankings in squash.
Prima Kotami, Fantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charlie signing off with Hesha. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.